What's going on, YouTubes? It's the Spectrum here, and yes, Modern Warfare 3 is out. In fact, it's been out in America for quite some time now because people have been getting it under the counter and shops have been selling it, you know, without, you know, by mistake. And I digress. But this is I think this is one of my first games. I don't remember, it might be my very first game, it could be one of the few in. I know it's my first game with a SCAR, which I absolutely love. This is basically why I wanted this game to come out. This SCAR is exactly the same to the SCAR on Modern Warfare 2, except it has a bigger clip, which is exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Infinity Ward, for putting that in. However, I'm not going to thank Infinity Ward for what they've done with the game searching. Now, I don't remember if I told you guys this, but I had a problem with my internet, I still do, which basically stops me from searching out games on my own. At least it did in Modern Warfare 2. It didn't happen on Black Ops, didn't happen on COD 4, it didn't happen on Black Ops. Which I just said. Doesn't work on Black Ops, COD 4 or World at War. But it did work, it did happen on Modern Warfare 2. So that was pretty bad. And I was thinking, well, you know, Black Ops was the most recent game, so maybe Infinity Ward would use that for, you know, lobby searching. But no, you can't search out games if you have a strict NAT type. And yes, they give you like a link to say, you know, go here and we'll give you some advice. Yeah, but it doesn't work when you're in uni hall. You can't change your own router because you don't have one. Which I think that's a huge. They need to sort that out, because the problem is that, you know, think about the age that play this game. A lot of them are going to be at uni. So, you know. Anyway, apart from that, that's probably my only gripe. So I haven't had that much multiplayer time because I can't even join into lobbies with friends either for some reason. At least late in the afternoon, I do get some good gameplay during the day. Anyway, this game, playing Domination on the map Undertone, I think it's called. I don't even know what the maps are called yet, but this is an interesting map. I think the maps in Modern Warfare 3 are a bit odd. They're nice and well, I say colourful. They're bright, shall we say? They're not, you know, they're not dingy looking. I mean, this bit here is a bit dull, but they're well lit, shall we say? However, there seems to be like a lot of wreckage around, like all these cars and things, and yet there aren't many places to, you know, head clip and power positions to set up in a map, which is something very interesting because that has been kind of in Call of Duty. So you can see there actually the marksman perk really worked out for me. Anyway, that's something that's been around in Call of Duty for quite some time, you know, finding power positions in the map. And Treyarch kind of tried to take it out of Black Ops play, just giving you no cover. But that made it so difficult to get, you know, flags capped and stuff. In this game, what they seem to have done is give you, you know, nice places to get flags from, you know, cover around flags, especially in this map where it kind of reminds me of Radiation, where the B flag's underground, but in this case there are pillars and stuff around it so that you can actually get some cover. But it seems to me that you get more chances to win gunfights from finding unusual lines of sight. Now, that's kind of the maps. They're a bit, you know, they're not too big either. They're very small, which means you get shot in the back a lot. So get ready for that if you haven't got this game yet. That's my first tip. Prepare to get shot in the back a lot. Next thing, guns. They are a lot more powerful than they were in Black Ops. In Black Ops, high recoil, no stopping power, very, very difficult to, well, I say very, very difficult. It's difficult to win gunfights without shooting people in the back. You know, a fair gunfight was never going to go your way in most cases, especially if the enemy used the FAMAS. In this game, it's a lot easier. Guns kill a lot faster. However, with some connections at the moment, some people sponge bullets and then just turn around and shoot you in the head. I'm not sure if, you know, that's how just the game is working at the moment or anything, but what are you gonna do? I'm not sure at the moment. To be fair, it hasn't been too bad, but to be honest, if you stay in the lobby, you're going to pull host at some point, so yeah, who really cares? I mean, it's not a dreadful thing. As you can see, the guns still kill pretty fast when you get your shots on target. Also, they've got a ton of idle sway. I didn't think it would matter too much. I thought it was just going to be, well, sort of like COD 4 when I think the MP5K and the M4 carbine had, they had a bit of idle sway, and then the minute you started shooting, it really didn't matter. The same thing happened in I think it was Modern Warfare 2 campaign. You had a ton of idle sway, then the minute you started shooting, it was just all gone. This game, it stays there, so the idle sway will actually drag your gun's kick away, so you can actually end up losing a lot of gunfights that you should have easily won. In that case, I think steady aim could be very, very useful for you, just so that you don't have to put up with that idle sway to increase your recoil, but you do get used to it. It is something that you can easily get used to. Now, in terms of streaks, support streaks, absolutely amazing. I've barely used Assault. I'm still using, I think, UAV, IMS I did unlock, and Attack Chopper, which in my opinion is going to be a decent enough setup anyway, because the AC-130 isn't as good as it used to be, due to explosives not being as good. People aren't using Blind Eye as much, I've noticed. Maybe that's just the levels, but I haven't noticed people using Blind Eye much at all. And the IMS is just beast, so but the support, very, very good. Reason being is, well, you can keep getting them when you die, which is awesome. And you know, also you get rewarded for capping flags and earning points and stuff, so it's very, very useful. It basically means that you can run the more beneficial things like the advanced UAV and the SAM turret and such, without the fear of having to survive to get those things. Now, for people who say, oh no, the advanced UAV is going to be ruined by assassin and such, no. Do you remember how good the Blackbird was? Yeah, that thing was broken as anything. In this game, it's a lot more balanced, which is what people want. I don't get what it is. People want stuff to be balanced. The Blackbird was horrendous, and think about it. People can earn a Blackbird by getting 8 kills. Imagine if you didn't have to survive those 8 kills. You just had to get them at some point in the game. And you could get them by capping flags. It's insane. It's a great point streak, the advanced UAV, but it doesn't need to be like the Blackbird. It's already as good as it's going to be. As you can see, Marksman helped me out there again. That is such a good perk for the first few levels. After a while, there's things like Steady Aim Pro, and what else is there? Dead Silence, obviously. Dead Silence is the last perk you unlock, so use that. Use your prestige token to get that, because that's a pretty good thing to have. Picked up another guy. Seems that these maps are much easier to spawn trap and aren't too easy to spawn flip on, so that's something to keep in mind. As you can see, I'm just going out. I've already had, I think, 2 SAM turrets this game, or at least I'm going to earn my second one. So, I mean, you know, what you'll find is, depending on how busy the game is, which, by the way, is a very, very fast-paced game, you will do a lot better, because you'll just get more traffic, and you'll find more flags and stuff to get, well, your streaks with. So domination is definitely one I'd suggest use support streaks. In terms of games like TDM, it could be useful, but run something like spy plane, well, UAV, recon drone, and advanced UAV, because things like SAM turret will not help you. The SAM turret is actually very, very underpowered. Basically, it's not like the Black Ops SAM turret. The Black Ops SAM turret basically fired 2 Strela missiles. It basically was your Strela missile, but you didn't have to have it on you. In this game, it's more like a realistic anti-air turret. It just fires a barrage of missiles at them, which is good, but you'll suddenly get this random bunch of hit markers out of nowhere and then nothing afterwards. It basically just does not, well, kill or take down the choppers or the UAVs. But that's it. Final score was, well, we won, which is the most important thing. 33-13. It was a very early game of mine. I feel a lot of that was connection based. But hopefully, guys, you've picked up some things about going into Modern Warfare 3 from this, and I'll see you all later. Peace.